All right, coaches, welcome to my YouTube channel. This week, I'm talking about when you take a new job, which works out really well because I just did that. And so, speaking from some experience, I won't be speaking really personally to the situation I'm with, but using some of that as an example. If you have further questions, you can always reach out to me, fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter by the same handle, or you can go to fbcoachsimpson.com, and I've got a lot of materials. If you're a guy who's coming into a new spot, I'm trying to charge a lot of money, just a little bit. And so if you'd like this more in detail, you can go there and get it. Yesterday, in the 30, 60, 90-day plan, talked about coaches. Today, we're going to deal with players. So as you take a new job, you need to assess the players you have really quickly, figure out a lot of different things on them in a very limited time. And also, with COVID going on, it's even more difficult. And so it's more important that you are very direct and intentional in what you do. And I'll just tell you an example of what I did. I took the job at Cersei, and the first week I essentially was there as an observer. I had really good assistant coaches on staff that I was inheriting that had already been running off-season workouts. So I just said, you just run what you've already been running, and I would like to observe because I want to take a quick assessment of the players. How do they react? What are they like? And so that's the first thing you've got to do in that first 30 days you're on the job. And if you get a job now, it may even be more like the first 2 weeks because you're kind of limited on time. But you need to assess what kind of kids you have. Where are they strong? Where are their deficits? Okay, and then also what kind of talent level do you have? I walked into a position where I knew the offense I wanted to run, but I wasn't going to force a square peg in a round hole. And so I needed to see, what kind of ability levels do we have? Is it going to work with what I want to do, or do I need to adapt? I feel good coaches adapt to their players every year. But when you're going into a new situation, there's even more kind of give on both sides with the player, with the former coaches, and with the new coach coming in. So we've got to see what these players are capable of doing on the field. Okay. Then we're going to start assessing situations off of the field. What players are having issues maybe with getting a ride, or maybe they're having personal issues they're dealing with. What are these players' goals? Do they want to go on and play college football? Do they want to go, be a welder? What do they want to do? And inside that first 30 days, and I'm still working through this, and I went from a 4A to a 6A, so there's a lot more of them I've got to work with. I need to figure out who these kids are, what these kids' goals are, how we're going to work together in a short amount of time. The next step is going to be finding the leaders on the team. Now, you're probably already doing that in the first week or so, but who are the guys that really call the shots on the team? And immediately you need to draw them close. Make sure they understand that you're going to work through them because they're the leaders from the team. Also, starting to look at the lower level teams, the 9th grade teams. Okay, and I'll be spending a lot of time that next month looking at our junior high and our 7th grade, and then finally looking at even our youth league. What do we have coming through here? Where are the areas that we need to improve, and where are the areas they're naturally strong at? And also, what kind of talent do we have, and what kind of offense would fit that best? What kind of defense would fit that best? And make sure you're assessing your players. So 30, 60, 90-day plan could really be maybe a 2-week, and then a 1 month, and then a 2-month plan if you took a job short. But the goal is pretty simple. Get there and evaluate your players as quickly as possible, and then come up with how you're going to adjust what you want to do. That's how I've always operated, instead of walking into, here's what I'm going to do, and I hope the players match that. I just feel like that's a recipe for disaster. So I spent about a week observing, spent a week meeting with the coaches and getting everybody on the same board, and then we started kind of rolling out, here's what we're going to do offensively, here's what we're going to do defensively, because we saw what our players were able to do. Now I'm spending time on the more important parts, figuring out how these kids operate. Which kid needs to be kind of prodded, and which kid needs to be praised, which kid is the thinker, which kid is somebody that just wants to learn on the field, and that way you can coach to your players. And that's that next step, that 30, 60, that's in that 60 day. And hopefully by day 90, or for us shorter than that, because in 90 days we'll be playing games, I hope we'll be all on the same page and able to motivate and work through it. Rest of this week, guys, when we talk about 30, 60, 90-day plans for the first time you get a job, what are you doing? And then tomorrow we'll talk about administration, and then communication on Thursday, and then community on Friday. What are you doing in those areas? If you've got more questions, you can reach out to me, fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. Obviously, you can also go to my website, and there's a lot of resources I'm putting on there. And there may be some new resources coming on there dealing with COVID practices and different things that we're trying to make work. We're still sorting through this because it's kind of new to everybody. But there'll be new resources on there hopefully this week or next week. Appreciate you guys' time.